Welcome to the deep dive. So if you're a service design pro and you missed day 3 at SDGC 25, specifically that October 17th slot, we've got you covered today.
Yeah, we're diving into the material from Ryan Dias. He's the Director of CX and Product Strategy over at Tech Mahindra.
And the talk sounded fascinating. Designing for change, from future adopters to flagship experiences.
Exactly. And the whole mission really was about finding and designing for what he called the invisible user, the people who just don't show up on our usual maps.
Speaking of invisible users, let's get concrete. He shared a case study, right? A big Fortune 100 telecom based in Dallas.
That's the one. And the numbers were, frankly, pretty shocking. His team found 68 million of these invisible users, these future adopters.
68 million out of how many total?
They had about 100 million subscribers overall. But get this, only 17 million were actually logging in monthly, the MAUs, right?
17 million active out of 100 million. So you're saying this invisible group, the 68 million, were on top of that, or part of the gap?
Well, they effectively doubled the visible user base in terms of potential interaction. These aren't just dormant accounts, you see. That's the critical point.
Yeah.
They're not lapsed customers.
So who are they then? How are they interacting if they're invisible?
They're consuming through a proxy. Think about people on shared family cell plans. The kids, maybe a partner, who uses the data but isn't the main account holder.
Okay, I see. Or like shared passwords.
Exactly like shared passwords. Dias actually mentioned that, over 60% of people still share Netflix passwords. Many of us listening right now, we are that invisible user in some context.
Huh, 60%. That's a lot. So if they're using the service, even indirectly, Dias was arguing they're important.
Hugely important, because they signal future experiences, they influence buying decisions, they impact retention, but they were completely missing from the existing journey maps, the service blueprints, all of it.
Which means the business metrics were probably off too.
Totally. And this led to a really fundamental strategic shift driven by service design thinking. They had to redefine how they even measured value.
Moving away from the standard customer lifetime value, CLV.
Right. Because CLV always kind of discounts the main account holder if their personal usage dips, even if the whole household is using the service like crazy.
So what did they move to?
Household lifetime value, HLV. It captures the overall value of that shared account, the whole ecosystem. It prioritizes the loyalty of the group, not just one person's transactions.
That makes a lot of sense, relationally. But okay, tactically, how do you suddenly start designing for someone who doesn't technically exist in your system, someone without a login?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Sounds like a minefield, right? Technical, ethical.
For sure. How did they handle access without creating chaos or, worse, security risks?
The solution was something called delegated access. But crucially, it was managed through really carefully designed ethical parameters. Service design was key here, in mapping out specific roles, figuring out how to authorize different levels of access, and building clear consent flows. The goal was to formally recognize that future adopter as a customer, let them interact safely, but without compromising the main account holder's security or data.
And Dias mentioned an agentic layer as part of this. It sounds like governance.
It is. It's essentially a smart permission system, like a proxy backbone built with ethical rules built in. And this is where service design really shines, I think.
Because it connects the human experience to the system rules.
Precisely. By looking holistically, at the data, the user needs, the potential risks, service design is perfectly placed to help build that governance framework. He argued that without this kind of thinking, especially with new tech, companies often end up in a race to the bottom on privacy and access.
So this is about proactive risk mitigation, not just making things nice for users.
Absolutely. That's a huge takeaway for service owners listening. This isn't just about desirable experiences anymore. It's grounded in solid data and, crucially, addressing organizational risk.
Designing for these unseen users, then, it actually flags where the risks are.
Exactly. And it unlocks real value. Think efficiency gains like resolving complex support calls involving multiple users way faster because the system actually understands the relationships. Or better multi-user retention.
So the challenge isn't just finding the 68 million users, it's proving that designing a safe, governed way for them to interact is actually better and maybe even cheaper for the business than ignoring the risk they already represent.
You got it. It reframes the whole problem from lost users to unmanaged risk and opportunity.
Fascinating stuff. Really shifts the perspective on who our users actually are.
Definitely food for thought. Hope this gives everyone a good sense of that session.
Thank you for listening.